Periva Sharanam. The ways to bring up our children. We send our children, sons and daughters, to schools and colleges to give them education so that they will grow into good men and women on proper lines. But sometimes it happens that our children do not grow to our expectations. We feel that there is some defect or shortfall at some place or point. We are at a loss to understand where and how to rectify these defects. Have our ancestors made any provision to correct these ills? There are some questions which are perturbing our peace of mind. We can find an answer to these and other related questions on the following lines. The prime objective and basic aim of education is to make the learners know about God, the divine. But today, we find with a sense of grief that the students who read and have no bhakti, devotion, and sense of duty in them. This is a fundamental defect. The most important and basic gift we get from education is submissiveness or humility. The Vinaya Bhava or submissiveness should become the basic and primary gain of education. The student in ancient days was called as Vinaya or as one who has obedience and submissiveness. Nowadays, many schools have come up. Yet, in order to cope up with the rush, the shift system is adopted in schools. In spite of all these, we have not achieved the desired goal of education, that is, inculcation of bhakti or devotion in the young minds. We have to call the police or the military to control the students and instill a sense of discipline and restraint in them. Restraint and submissiveness are the basic traits of the women of our country. With the benefit of education, they should gain more, and the girls and women should have more submissiveness and modesty. But we see that the girls who should be essentially submissive by nature appear to have lost this fundamental right. The education, instead of improving the submissiveness, spoils it instead. Why does this happen? In olden days, students learnt under the Gurukula pattern. Our ancient seers and sages have codified the rule of conduct and behavior both for the Guru and Sishyas, students in Gurukula. Our ancient moral codes are very clear in their stipulations. They have been classified properly. The student should be under a proper Guru and take to Brahmacharya. The disciple would get alms and bring it to the Guru. By this practice, the student got Vinaya or submissiveness. We cannot exercise our authority or order someone to give us alms. The Sishya would shake off his ahankara or haughty swabhava. He would have love and affection to the Guru as he lived with him. The Guru also loved the student in turn. He had to live and grow, having him as his model in order to get his appreciation and regard. By this, the student naturally imbibed bhakti or devotion. The lessons in the present day are the same as in the olden days, but the method and pattern of teaching has changed. Though the medicines are the same, the restriction of food and the method of preparation has changed. Because of this, the medicine has become a poison. When the devotion to Guru or Guru Bhakti has gone, the restraints have also gone. If we say that Gurukula pattern alone should be adopted, it will not be feasible and possible. We do not have a hope that Gurukula system could be fully implemented now. We should know that such a system existed in our country and that system should not be allowed to perish from our country. We should make provisions for at least some people to study under the Gurukula system so that They can boast to have studied under the Gurukula system and they can be treated as showpieces in a museum. We should at least save the capital that is invested. The surest remedy for the ills with our present studies is the Gurukula system. If Guru Bhakti is developed, as a result of the education, it will be the best. This is the best panacea prescribed by our ancients for curing the many ills prevalent among the young men and women. Periyava Sharanam.